Welcome to my channel $T Valuable Coins. So get it started. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the British 2p coins. From the very first issue in 1971, all the way to some of the modern rarities like the 2005, 1988, and 1998 2p coins. We're going to uncover their history, design, and collector's value. So, if you've got any of these coins lying around in your change jar, make sure you watch until the end, because one of them might be worth much more than you think. The 2p coin was first introduced in 1971 when the UK switched to a decimal currency system. Before this, Britain used pounds, shillings, and pence in the old pre-decimal format. The 2 was part of the brand new decimal coinage, and its design has remained one of the most iconic in British coinage. By 2005, the coin had already been in circulation for 34 years, and it was widely used in everyday transactions. The year 2005 itself was an important time in Britain's history. The country was celebrating Queen Elizabeth II's long reign, and the coinage of that period reflects both tradition and continuity. Let's talk about the design, because that's what collectors love the most. The obverse of the 2005 2p coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth. In 2005, the portrait used was the fourth portrait, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait was introduced in 1998 and continued to be used until 2015. The Queen is wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and the portrait is larger and more detailed compared to earlier versions. Around the portrait, you'll see the Latin inscription Elizabeth DG Reg. FD 2005, which translates to Elizabeth by the Grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith, 2005. The reverse shows the famous badge of the Prince of Wales, which consists of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet. Below the badge is a ribbon with the German motto, Ich dien, which means I serve. This design was created by Christopher Ironside, a renowned British coin designer. Below the badge is the denomination 2p. The 2005 2p was struck in 2 possible metal compositions. Bronze, pre-1992 tradition, earlier coins were made of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. Copper-plated steel, post-1992. By 2005, the Royal Mint had switched to a cheaper metal due to rising copper prices. Most circulation coins from this year are copper-plated steel. Weight 7.12 grams. Diameter 25.9 millimeters. Thickness 2.03 millimeters. Edge plain smooth edge. Now let's talk numbers. How many 2005 2p coins were minted? In 2005, millions of 2p coins were struck for circulation by the Royal Mint. Exact mintage is estimated at hundreds of millions, making it a very common year. Because of this, most 2005 2p coins found in circulation are not considered rare. However, here's the interesting part. Brilliant uncirculated BU sets and proof sets were also released by the Royal Mint. These special collector's coins were struck to a much higher standard, with sharper details and a mirror-like finish. So, what's the value of a 2005 2p coin today? A regular circulation 2005 2p is usually worth just face value 2p. However, if you have a coin in uncirculated or mint condition, it can be worth 50p to £1 to collectors. Proof versions from the 2005 Royal Mint sets can fetch between £2 and £5 depending on condition. Special note: always check your coin with a magnet. If it sticks to a magnet, it's copper-plated steel. If it doesn't stick, it might be an earlier bronze coin, rare for 2005 circulation, but possible for sets. Here are some fun facts about the 2005 2 pence. The 2 pence inscription is important. From 1982 onwards, the wording was officially changed from new pence to 2 pence. The 2005 issue continues this tradition. Even though it is common, the 2005 2p is part of a long history of British decimal coinage and shows how designs remained unchanged for decades, until 2008, when a completely new design was introduced. Some collectors specifically collect one coin of every year, and the 2005 version is essential to completing a modern 2 pence collection. Condition matters. If you find a shiny, uncirculated 2005 2 pence, hold on to it. Look for proof sets. These are always more valuable than circulation coins. Check for errors. Although rare, sometimes minting mistakes happen, such as off-center strikes, missing letters, or unusual finishes. Error coins can be worth much more than face value. In 2005, the Royal Mint was already preparing for the new coin design series that was later introduced in 2008. So, the 2005 2 is one of the last coins to carry the old Christopher Ironside reverse design. This makes it historically significant because it represents the end of an era in UK coinage. During 2005, the 2 pence was still very common in everyday life. People used it in vending machines, parking meters, and payphones. But by the late 2000s, inflation reduced the coin's practical value, and many people began leaving 2 coins unused in jars and drawers. This social aspect adds a story about how coins are not just metal, but part of people's daily lives. The 2005 brilliant uncirculated coin set included the 2 pence, struck with sharper detail. The 2005 proof coin set contained a 2 coin with a polished, mirror-like surface and frosted details. These sets were often sold in presentation cases, making them collectible. If you show images of these sets in your video, it adds extra value for collectors who may not know about them. The switch from bronze to copper-plated steel happened in 1992, but some people still confuse later dates like 2005 with bronze. Teaching viewers how to test with a magnet is an excellent tip. Many collectors enjoy checking their pocket change this way. Next, 2 new pence 1971. To truly understand the 1971 2 new pence coin, we first need to look at the big picture of British money. Before 1971, the UK used the old pre-decimal system. This was a very complex system where £1 was divided into 20 shillings. 1 shilling was divided into 12 pence. So, there were 240 pence in a pound. This system had existed for centuries. But by the 20th century it was considered outdated and difficult to use. So, the British government decided to modernize. In February 1971, Britain officially switched to decimal currency. From then on, £100 new pence. And this was called Decimal Day, a huge moment in the history of UK coins. The 1971 2 new pence coin was one of the first coins minted for this new system. Chapter 2: The design of the 1971 2 new pence. The coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This was the second definitive portrait of the Queen, designed by Arnold Machin. In this portrait, the Queen is wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The inscription reads Elizabeth II D.G.Reg.F.D. 1971, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. Defender of the Faith. The reverse was designed by Christopher Ironside, a famous British coin designer. It shows the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers, emerging from a coronet. Beneath it is a ribbon with the motto ICH. Dien, meaning I serve in German. Around the edge is the wording new pence and the denomination 2. The new pence wording is important because at the time, Britain wanted to make sure people didn't confuse the new decimal coins with the old system. Here are the technical specifications of the 1971 2 new pence coin. Metal composition: bronze 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin. Weight 7.12 grams. Diameter 25.91 millimeters. Thickness 1.85 millimeters. Edge plain smooth, with no inscription. Shape round. These coins were fairly large compared to today's 2p coins, and they had a distinctive copper-brown color. Mintage and circulation. The 1971 2 new pence was not rare ZD at all. In fact, it was produced in huge quantities to prepare for Decimal Day. In 1971 alone, over 1.4 billion 2 new pence coins were minted for circulation. Because of this, the coin is very common and easy to find even today. The coin remained in circulation until 1981, when the inscription was changed. From 1982 onwards, instead of new pence, the coins were inscribed simply 2 pence. So, the 1971 edition is special because it belongs to the very first series of decimal coins in the UK. Collectability and value. Now, the big question, is the 1971 2 new pence worth anything today? Since so many were minted, the regular circulation coins are very common and generally worth only face value 2 pence. However, uncirculated examples, proof versions, or coins in perfect condition can be worth more to collectors. Circulated condition 2p just face value. Uncirculated condition around £1 to £3. Brilliant uncirculated sets BU sets around £5 to £10. Proof coins from 1971 proof sets £10 to £20 depending on condition. So while the 1971 2 new pence is not a rare or valuable coin in money terms, it is historically very important. Here are some fascinating facts about this coin. The new pence issue coins minted from 1971 until 1981 carried the words new pence. From 1982 onwards, it was changed to 2 pence. This change was made because by then people were already familiar with the decimal system, so the word new was no longer needed. Decimal Day history. On February 15, 1971, banks and shops had to switch to the new system overnight. The 1971 2 new pence was one of the most used coins during this period. Transition confusion at first. Many older people in Britain struggled with the new coins. The 2 new pence was often compared to the old 6-pence coin, but it was actually worth 4 times as much. Bronze coins disappearing because the coin is made of bronze. Many have changed color over time. Some people even polished them to bring back their shine. Collectors' favorite, although not rare. Many collectors keep the 1971 coin because it marks the beginning of a new era in British coinage. The UK's switch to decimal currency in 1971 was part of a global trend. Countries around the world were modernizing their currencies to make them easier to use in everyday life and in international trade. The 1971 2 pence coin became a symbol of this modernization. Chapter 8: The Legacy of the 1971 2 pence. Today, the 1971 2 pence is seen as a piece of history from Queen Elizabeth II's long reign. A reminder of Decimal Day, one of the biggest monetary changes in Britain's history. A popular entry-level coin for new collectors. Even though it's not valuable in terms of money, its historical and educational value is priceless. Before Decimal Day, the Royal Mint made trial coins in the late 1960s so people could practice using decimal currency. These included sample 2 pence coins, though they were not legal tender. Collectors today are very interested in these rare patterns, which sell for much higher prices than the regular 1971 issues. The 1971 2 pence was among the first coins struck at the new Royal Mint facility in Llantrisant, Wales. The mint had moved from Tower Hill in London because it needed much larger machinery to produce billions of new decimal coins. When Decimal Day arrived, many people hoarded brand new coins as souvenirs, including the 2 pence. This is why so many uncirculated examples still exist today. They were kept in drawers, boxes, or jars by the public. Many older generations found decimalization confusing at first. Newspapers and TV shows had to run educational campaigns showing how to use the new coins. The 2 pence often caused confusion because it was much larger than the old pennies, yet worth only 2 pence. 1988. The 2 pence coin, often written as 2, was first introduced in 1971 when the United Kingdom transitioned from the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence to the modern decimal system. This was called Decimal Day. Before decimalization, British money was far more complicated, but after 1971, the new coins, including the 1 penny and the 2 pence, made things simpler. The 2 coins were intended for everyday use, especially for small purchases. At that time, 2 pence actually had a noticeable buying power. By 1988, however, inflation had reduced its value somewhat, but it was still very common in circulation. The coin features the famous portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklauf. This portrait was introduced in 1985 and continued to appear until 1997. In this design, the Queen is wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown that she usually wore for the state opening of Parliament. The engraving shows her profile facing to the right. Around the edge, the words "Read Elizabeth D.G. Reg. F.D. 1988. This is short for Elizabeth by the Grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith." The reverse features the classic badge Of the Prince of Wales, which is a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet. Below the feathers is a ribbon with the motto Ich Dein, which means serve in German. This design was created by Christopher Ironside, one of the most important coin designers of the 20th century. At the top, you'll see the words 2 pence. At the bottom, the value is shown as the number 2. The 1988 2-pence coin was struck in bronze, which is made up of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. Here are its specifications. Weight 7.12 grams. Diameter 25.9 millimeters. Thickness 1.85 millimeters. Edge plane, no milling. This makes it quite a heavy coin for its size, giving it a solid feel compared to some other small denominations. Now, how many of these coins were actually made in 1988? In 1988, the Royal Mint struck multiple millions of 2-pence coins for circulation. These were common and widely used in everyday life. Unlike some rare years, the 1988 issue is not considered scarce. However, there were also special sets made for collectors' proof coins in presentation packs and annual mint sets. These collectors' versions are struck with greater care, with highly polished dies and blanks, giving them a mirror-like finish. So, is the 1988 2-pence worth more than its face value today? The answer depends on the condition. A circulated coin, the kind you might still find in pocket change, although less common now, is generally worth only its face value of 2. A brilliant uncirculated coin from a mint set can fetch anywhere between £1 to £3 depending on condition. A proof coin from the official Royal Mint, a collector's set, can be worth £5 to £10 or more, especially if it is still in its original packaging. So while it's not a rare treasure, collectors do enjoy keeping the 1988 2-pence as part of a complete date run of decimal coins. Here are a few fun facts about the 1988 2-pence coin. The inscription Ich Dein connects the coin to the history of the Prince of Wales title, which dates back centuries. The design with 2-pence at the top continued until 2008, when the Royal Mint changed the reverse design to feature a section of the Royal Shield. Coins like the 1988 2p are often kept by collectors to build a decimal type set, which includes every year of issue. Because of its high copper content, older 2p coins like this one have a distinctive red-brown tone compared to the newer copper-plated steel issues, introduced in 1992. In 1988, the UK was still under Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's government, and the British economy was in a period of major change. Everyday pocket change like the 2 coin was widely used for small purchases, such as sweets, bus fares, and newspapers. The 2 coin was still bronze in 1988, but just a few years later, in 1992, the Royal Mint would switch the metal to copper-plated steel because of the rising cost of copper that makes the 1988 2 one of the last true bronze 2-pence coins before the change. In addition to circulation strikes, the Royal Mint also issued brilliant uncirculated sets and proof sets in 1988. Proof coins have a mirror-like surface and frosted designs, making them more attractive to collectors. Some proof coins were packaged in deluxe presentation sets, which now carry more collector value. The decimal series of British coins is a favorite among beginner collectors because it is relatively affordable. The 1988 2 is not rare, but many people try to complete a full date run collecting every year of issue. Without the 1988 coin, the set is incomplete, so it always has demand. British coins are not just collected in the UK, they are popular worldwide, especially in Commonwealth countries, Asia, and the Middle East. Many international collectors see the 1988 2 pence as a nostalgic coin from the reign of Queen Elizabeth, whose portrait changed several times on coinage. The coin weighs 7.12 grams, but if you collect 100 coins, they weigh over 700 grams, nearly 3/4 of a kilogram. In 1988, you would need 50 coins 100 pence to make a single British pound, which shows how small denominations were still very useful in everyday life. Today, however, the 2 coin is often considered too small in value and may even be phased out in the future, making coins like the 1988 2 part of history in the making. Last 2 pence 1998. Visuals UK coins over the years. Zoom on. 1998 coin. The 2 pence coin, commonly referred to as 2p, is part of the British decimal coinage system introduced in 1971, replacing the old pre-decimal currency. The 1998 edition continued the legacy of the decimal 2 pence, minted primarily for circulation but also sought after by collectors today. The 2p coin represents 2/100th parts of a pound sterling, and over time it has become iconic, not just for its value but also for its cultural and historical significance. In 1998, the coin remained in copper-plated steel, a shift from the original bronze used in earlier years. Let's take a closer look at its design. Features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley. Inscription: Elizabeth II DG Reg FD. Meaning: Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This portrait was introduced in 1998 and became standard until 2015. Designed by Christopher Ironside, it features a segment of the royal shield. This design was part of a larger series introduced in the late 1990s, creating a cohesive image when all coins from 1p to 50p are placed together. The 2p segment represents a slice of the shield, symbolizing continuity in British coinage and heritage. The 1998 2 pence coin has precise physical characteristics. Diameter 25.9 millimeters. Thickness 2.03 millimeters. Weight 7.12 grams. Material: copper-plated 97% steel, 2.5% copper, 0.5% other metals. Edge plain, smooth without ridges. These specifications make it a sturdy coin, resistant to wear, and easy to identify in circulation. Visuals: footage of Royal Mint coin. Production process: close-up of mint marks. The 2 pence 1998 coin was minted at the Royal Mint, the official mint of the United Kingdom, while circulation coins were widely produced, collectors often look for specific proof editions or limited runs that showcase higher quality finishes. Mintage numbers. Circulation figures are not officially listed for every year, but estimates suggest millions of coins were minted in 1998. Finish. Circulation coins have a standard matte finish, whereas proof coins intended for collectors are mirror-like with sharper details. Collectors pay attention to mint errors, including off-center strikes, doubled inscriptions, or misaligned plating. These errors are rare and can significantly increase a coin's value. Visuals, coin holders, albums, online marketplaces. So, how much is a 1998 2p coin worth today? For most standard circulated coins, the value is typically face value 2p. However, uncirculated or proof coins can fetch between £1 to £5, depending on condition. Coins with rare errors can sell for £10 or more, making them highly desirable to collectors. Look for coins with a bright, untarnished surface. Store coins in protective holders to prevent scratches or corrosion. Compare your coin with certified references to identify unique features or errors. Visuals, animation of UK coins forming the Royal Shield, Old British currency. Comparison. Here are some fun facts about the 2p coin. The 2p coin originally had a bronze composition until 1992, after which it transitioned to copper-plated steel. The Royal Shield design connects all coins from 1p to 50p, a clever way to make coin collecting interactive. In 1998, the 2p coin was widely used for everyday purchases, from bus fares to candy, making it a nostalgic piece for many. Visuals, coin spinning, montage of 1998. Coin in hand, zoom out to UK map. In conclusion, the 2p 1998 coin is more than just currency, it's a piece of British history. From its iconic Queen Elizabeth portrait, the Royal Shield design, this coin captures the heritage of the UK in a small, metallic form. Whether you are a casual collector or a serious numismatist, understanding its design, production, and value makes collecting even more rewarding. So there you have it, the story of the 1971, 1988, 1998, and 2005 2p coins. Each one has its own place in numismatic history, and who knows, you might already have one of these in your collection or even in your pocket change right now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories. And let me know in the comments which 2p coin do you own. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.